gun sighted in here. Make sure nothing got bumped in the airline. Big open country like this, shots could be 200, 300, 400 yards. Shooting the Loophole VX6 with a custom dial, so I've got all the information loaded in my Hornady Forward Off app. So if I do have to make that long shot, I can simply, click for elevation, click for wind, but it all starts with making sure that my 0 to 100 is perfect. Alberta is known for giant mule deer. And Lee Lukoski, he's been coming up here for several years now. He has a lease here in southern Alberta, which is an hour north of the Canadian border, just north of Great Falls, Montana. This particular ranch does have some agriculture. It has some peas, some canola, some winter wheat on it. So there's a fairly good deer density, but like anything, there's only a few bucks that are in the right age class. And Lee likes to manage this area for mule deer like he manages his whitetail. Everything is based off of age. Now this ranch does back up to a river, which does give us the opportunity to pick up some cruising bucks. The rut's kicking in right now, so you never know what deer might come onto this ranch. But today, we're kicking off the hunt. We're just going to inventory the deer. Everything, we're going to stay on the fringes right now and try to find out what deer is on this ranch, as well as some of the other pieces we get a chance to hunt. But my guess is, based off of what Lee's killed off of these farms, we're going to find some giants. Got a buck down there crossing the river. I thought that river was a lot deeper than what it is. It's actually really shallow watching that deer. I mean, he doesn't go over his knees. So they come back and forth across this river really easily, and obviously it creates this travel corridor. So we're hoping as the rut picks up, we'll find some more bucks. But right now, middle of the day, sun's high in the sky. A few does and fawns over here milling about, but most of these deer go down to the river to bed. You got this tall brush down here. I mean, they can become invisible. They can lay down, you won't see them, and obviously come up off this bluff, head out to the ag fields. But surprisingly, some of these deer, including some more mature bucks, are actually laying right in the ag fields. They'll find these little grassy swales, they'll get out of the wind, and they'll just bed down, chew their cud, relax. I mean, it's virtually unpressured. Right now, we still have not found a really old buck yet. Just a matter of time. These deer will find the safest, most unusual places to bed. So we're glassing these deer over here by the pivots, and then just cruising down this edge here. And I decided to use this bank and come up and kind of look across this bottom. And there's a gravel pit right here. And originally I saw two does. They're bedded up on this grass line on the top of the gravel pit. And then I looked down and there's a buck bedded in the gravel pit. In the shade, they can paw up the dirt. It's cool, it's comfortable. The wind's perfect for his direction. Nothing's gonna come from behind him because of the does and because of the gravel pit, but then he can look out to everything in the front. Just an ideal setup for mature buck for bedding down. That is so tempting. Just out of nowhere, we're just glassing this flat. And see this doe right behind him is a buck. We have not seen him yet. Mainframe 4x4, really good browse, but he's got an inline on his right 3. I grabbed the rifle as I thought, okay, here we go. This could be our deer. I think he's pushing 180 right now, but he's like 1 year too young. I'm guessing he's probably in that 4 to 5 age class. Now these are big bodied deer, so he could be bigger than what I think, but I just feel he needs another year. I mean, he could be a completely random deer. He could have hit the river, caught a doe, pushed her across the grass here. Have no idea, but I know how exclusively Lee manages this area, this lease here, just like his whitetails. He wants these bucks to hit that maturity, that 6-year-old mark, and I just don't think he's there. So we're gonna let him go, and I hope I don't regret it. Pretty big group of mule deer out there. I don't know, there's probably at least a dozen animals, 2 or 3 bucks, but 1 buck for sure looks mature. I mean, his body is bigger than all the other mule deer. He's a 4x4, pretty good back splits. His fronts aren't bad. I really need to look at him a little bit closer. I'd say he's probably in that 5-6-year-old age range. The mature buck for sure, the dominant buck. Just interesting, they're wide out in the open. I mean, completely unpressured. My guess is they're gonna feed for a while, then they'll slip into this taller grass like this and bed down this afternoon, and then probably go back to feed. There's really no way to get any closer with them being in the open the way they are, so they're gonna have to slip over this edge into this taller grass before I can get a better look. But probably the best book that we've seen so far. So we're just gonna let him go to bed, keep our eyes on him, and then try to get in a little bit closer just to make sure he's worth shooting. My guess is he's gonna be our target buck. What an incredible mule deer. So he's got inlines, both his left and his right side. I'd probably say he's in the 190s. This is a deer that Lee specifically called off limits. I mean, he's gonna go over 200 next year. I mean, you never know with the winter how far they get rutted down, what happens, but he's in the center of the ranch. He looks healthy. I mean, he's just hanging with that doe right now, but that is, what an amazing, amazing mule deer. Just as calm as could be, standing on the skyline. Oh my gosh. I hate to walk away from a 190-inch mule deer, but next year, he'll be well over 200. Getting down to the wire right now. We've seen quite a few deer this week, just young bucks, up and comers, some management deer, and maybe 1 or 2 that I'd say were mature enough that were in that trophy class. One specifically, we're looking for just a mainframe 4x4, small eye guards, just outside the ears, good mass, definitely in that 5-year-old age class. But I keep hoping with the rut along this river here that something is going to cross the river or go up and down the river just looking for does. And we're just going to take this afternoon, just ease across each one of these rolls. I mean, any of these deer could be hiding in that brush down there and this little crease right here. So instead of trying to take the truck and go to different vantage points, I just think we got to get on our feet and try to dig one out right now. If not, we're going to wait till the sun gets a little bit lower and try to go find that other buck. Getting down to the wire. Getting a little concerned now. Sun's getting ready to go down. You know, we're got one more day left. Seeing a lot of deer, but not a lot of mature bucks. Looking at a lot of this country, weather's gonna change a little bit. Some cold air starting to come in now, so hopefully something's gonna change. But you know how that feeling is when you've got one day left, everything's on the line. We picked him up when he was coming across this old canola field, heading to the grass, and there's a bunch of does over there. And he circled back, and I think what it was is he wanted to push those younger bucks off and then grab some does, and he's behind that swale. What I'm guessing is he's gonna hit that draw, follow these other does that are through this grass over here. Good thing is wind is perfect right in our face. There's a little rise there. I'm gonna wait till all the deer get out of sight, grab my rifle, and then probably just sneak around to the west and kind of peek over that edge. I mean, they could be 50 yards, they could be 500 yards, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's where he's gonna end up. I've lost sight of him now. Try to cut the distance. Got him. I don't know what to say. I have not shot a deer with my Encore in a lot of years. 252. I didn't know if we were gonna get the shot. They were definitely onto us. We had to sneak down the edge of this grass. We had this back hillside to give us some cover, a little bit of grass in front of us. We just let him settle down, and he walked out to about 300. The does were getting nervous, but what brought him back were those other two bucks, and he circled around, and he just kind of came in, gave us a broadside shot. I dropped him with the Encore. Oh my gosh. This buck has been tough to kill. He's been hanging out with these does the entire week. We've been trying to find other bucks looking, and he's just been way out in this grass. Almost impossible to get a shot. Finally, last night we put him down. We got our buck. Not much of a track job here. Oh wow. Incredible buck. Look at this deer. Look at that deer. 252 yards, one shot. Dropped them in his tracks. What a fantastic week we have had. We have looked at a lot of mule deer, but we needed to find one of the right age and the right location. And it's not easy in this big open country like this. Trying to get within rifle range is tough. Trying to get within bow range is even tougher. So certainly excited to be out here managing these big mule deer. Put a tag on this guy right here.